I just wanted to do a video on a topic that's very prevalent, especially in the times that we're living in right now, because during the course and duration of my life, I've noticed the exceedingly rapid increase of this type of herd or hive mentality occur more now than I've ever seen it before. I'd like to begin this video by saying the minds of the few control the minds of the many. When everyone is thinking the same, no one is thinking at all. Very few people, if any, but there are a few, very few people possess the cerebral capacity for self-thought, let alone self-action. There are not really too many people out there that truly possess a proactive, autonomous mind. Usually, if one sees another one doing it, they all follow. A couple of examples I could give you. If you're on the Parkway and there's a traffic jam, and usually because there's some guy on the side of the road with his hood up, everybody's looking to satiate their morbid curiosity. But usually if it's a traffic jam that's not moving anywhere for 10, 15 minutes, it just takes that one person to go up on the shoulder and create a fourth lane, and then they'll all follow. The same thing with riots. All of that animosity stirring, then it just takes that one person to throw that brick through the window or the rock or whatever it is, and then boom, just insanity breaks loose. Something I witnessed 2 years ago during the whole COVID thing was during COVID in the local grocery store, they would have the employees standing in like a taped off section, and we were all cordoned off in this line. And then they would pretty much delegate, okay, you go to register 6, you go to register 1. Do you have cash? You go to register 13. You want self-checkout, like that. So once that was over and there was no more employees standing on taped off lines, delegating authorities and so forth, I'll never forget one time I walked into the grocery store and I see like 8 people standing on a line in the middle of nowhere. And I said, what is everybody standing here for? And the lady turned to me, she goes, I don't know. And then I just was like, I said, listen, they stopped doing that like 2-3 weeks ago. They're not going to tell you what register to go on. You have to go on yourself, but they just stood there anyway. So I realized people can't think for themselves. They always follow groups and masses. I guess it must be just a human instinctual programming mechanism inside the human mind that people just, for the most part, they cannot think for themselves. I guess it must be a comfort that they find, or a sense of like familiarity where they just can't operate autonomously. They cannot be proactive. It's just a reactive, homogenous mentality. And, if you are one of those individuals that has that type of mentality where you can't think for yourself, you're not ever going to manifest anything. You're not ever going to create anything on your own because you're so busy what other people are thinking. What are they doing? I have to follow them. Then you're not taking control of your own life. And it's unfortunate that people are the way they are. And this is the reason why there's a small group trying to, take over the world. And it sounds like a really bad plot from a horrible James Bond film, but it's the truth. They're putting bioengineered food ingredients in all of the foods, which takes away the natural immune system. So they're planning something. But anyway, that's a topic for another video. But just wanted to touch on the fact that, it's just a sad state of events to see people that just cannot function autonomously. They just have to follow. And I guess it harks back to the unconscious social programming from, when everybody's little. They're told A, B, and C is the truth, and they all follow it. They don't question. So it's a sad state of affairs to see, that situation unfolding before us in it's increasing in both intensity and in severity, to say the very least. Very few people can actually say, you know what? I'm not doing that. I remember a couple of months ago, I was in the very same grocery store, and we were at the self-checkout. There's only, I think, 6 registers there, and there was people on them. So the lady came up to the line, and she says, "Oh yeah, these are all full. Go over to the regular registers." And people just went. They looked to the ground. And they just, just cowering. And they just absolutely listened to this woman, and they didn't even question. And they went to the registers, which was going to take much longer. Instead of waiting a few seconds, like I did, I said, forget that. I'm not going anywhere. And lo and behold, 2 seconds later, one of the self checkout registers opened up. So people don't even question. I guess it's a fear of authority figures. I don't know what it is, but perhaps it's time in your life that you check yourself if you're one of those people, because you can't live your life like that. You can't live your life by, if somebody that you deem or you have construed as an authority figure, a police officer, a judge, a lawyer, a doctor, whatever it is, even a person that works in a grocery store that's a manager or whatever, you can't exist in fear like that. You can't let them have power over you like that. You got to question everything, because from the moment you're born into this world, you're lied to about everything. So that being said, you've got to control your own imagination, your own mind, your own power, your own life. You have to take authority over these things. You can't allow anyone else to take that place, because then you're not living your life. You're just a slave to somebody else. So I just wanted to make the video on this topic because it's something that's always disturbed me, even as a little boy. I mean, I remember over the last at least 5 decades now, I've watched the collective intellectual level of this planet slowly devolve to such a deteriorated degree that very few people actually possess a cerebral capacity for self-thought, let alone self-action. And that's a straight truth. I'm not making it up. People 50 years ago were far more intelligent. They didn't have all the technological addictions of cell phones and laptops and tablets. And people weren't staring at their hands all day long. They were actually communicating with each other. They were being human. They were being humane. I'm not saying it was a utopian paradise 50 years ago. By all means, it was not. But, I mean, people would go outside. They would socialize, get-togethers, gatherings. I remember entire families would come out like 6 o'clock. Everybody would come home from work, take a shower, eat. And you'd see dozens and dozens and dozens of people outside. And the kids would be playing together with each other. The parents would be talking and laughing, full conversations, eye-to-eye contact. There wasn't any media-based conversations. Nobody was saying blah, blah, blah. It was just much better back then. People read books, real books, tangible books. They actually communicated with each other. They were humane. They weren't desensitized. They weren't dehumanized. They weren't isolated. They weren't cordoned off and Skyping each other and afraid to go near each other. It was actual human contact. It's a completely different world. The cars were different colors: green, yellow, blue, purple, orange, red, whatever it was. Beautiful. Now the colors of the cars are black, white, and gray. And people don't seem to be catching on to that. They don't seem to be catching on that, they're slowly turning the landscape into a monochromatic madness, folks. You got to catch on to these things. Life is color, man. Life is not about black and white and gray. That's just lifeless. That's lifeless. But again, people just can't seem to figure things out on their own. They have to be told what to do, what to wear, how to act, what to eat, how to dress, how to vote, how to speak, how to think, and so on and so forth. And they do it obediently and unfortunately without questioning. So perhaps this video has resonated with you on some level. I really hope that it does. But anyway, have a blessed day. God bless. And always know that you are always loved and you are never alone. God bless.